Just wow. Neva is truly an amazing game, but it's interesting how even some of the best games fall short on a few things. I haven't reviewed as many games as I would have liked this year, and now at the end of the year I'm going through a bunch of games in preparations for my Game of the Year video. I bought Neva when it got released, but haven't even touched it because I didn't want to get distracted. I wanted to finish it in 1 or 2 sessions. And I finally did, so here is my review. This is one of those games that is as much an experience as it is a game. It tells a beautiful story about a dying world, growing up, and parenthood. It's told with basically no dialogue or anything. It's instead told through the actions of the characters. Like very early in the game you have to jump over a little cliff and the wolf cub fails and falls, but you help it up, encourage it to try again, and this time it succeeds and get really happy. It's such a simple little thing, but it's so beautifully done, and this is true for the whole game. The game will take you through 4 seasons, trying to save the world that is rapidly dying while also finding a new home. The game's focus is of course also on the relationship between the wolf Neva and the young girl Alba. This is the game's driving force, with Alba taking care of Neva in the beginning, saving and protecting Neva from dangers. But as you progress, Neva grows up and lends its powers and becomes a fierce ally. The game's mechanics are very basic. Alba has a sword and you have 2 different attacks with it. You can slice to either side and you can stab downwards if you're in the air. You can double jump, roll on the ground to dodge, or dodge in the air. You can also call out for Neva as she is very distracted by everything in the beginning. The controls are excellent and the combat is fast and surprisingly fluid for having such little mechanical depth. The game is a bit easy in my opinion. You have 3 HP, so if you get hit 3 times it's back to the last checkpoint, which is usually before every encounter. With each hit to an enemy you fill a meter, and if you fill it before getting hit again, you gain 1 HP back. But yeah, this game is more of an experience than, let's say, a Metroidvania or an action RPG. I would have wanted the combat and bosses to be a bit more challenging. There is a story mode as well, where you can't die, so if you just want to play through this game for the experience and story, that is perfect for you. As you progress in the game, you get new abilities. When you get to fall, climbing will be introduced. Neva can now also be used as a projectile. New mechanics and abilities are introduced throughout the whole game, and really keeps the whole experience kind of fresh. The combat and puzzles do get more interesting towards the end. The one thing that kind of bothers me throughout the whole game is that you can't run. You walk pretty slowly and the dodge roll is a bit faster, and I ended up rolling constantly because of this. I would much more prefer having a run button. The game isn't very long, it's about 4 hours. There are some hidden stuff, so maybe 5-6 hours if you're a completionist. Mechanics aren't the only thing that is constantly introduced either. New enemies are always around the corner, but like I mentioned, the game isn't particularly hard, but it do has some challenging moments that keep you on your toes. I do really like the enemy design, and it gets progressively better throughout the whole game, and by the end fights become almost like a puzzle, right up my alley and fits perfectly with the game's overall structure. Neva is a very linear game. Yes, you do have some collectibles and side challenges, but otherwise the game incorporates some light puzzle solving, combat and storytelling with a beautiful hand-drawn world. I read that the most complex animation in the game had 330 hand-drawn frames. That is pretty impressive and shows how much care have been put into this game. The game starts you off in a stunning forest with some interesting architecture, and you can really tell that the game is from the same studio that made Grease a few years back. To me, the game hits its high point towards the middle, where they rapidly change the pleasant world to something else. The game's winter segment is amazing and brings the most interesting platforming segments. The game have taken a lot of inspiration from Studio Ghibli and specifically Princess Mononoke, and that is certainly undeniable with them both tackling a similar topic and having similar characters, but there is also where the similarities stop. Neva tells its own story and does it magnificently. This is without a doubt one of the best indie games I've played this year. It's visually very impressive, a bit light on the puzzle solving and combat, but I do really think it's well worth playing. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day or evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.